Is this thing on? Hello, hello? Uh-oh. Another yapper with a mic. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Napkin in Between podcast. I am your host, Deante Jones. I hope everyone is having a good week, except for that orange drink lady. Of course. I want to take a second to say thank you to all of you. I, as you know, had to make a new account on TikTok because my old one got banned. And it's been like a little bit over a month and I'm already back at 100K. I just looked, I'm at 112K after like a little over a month of making a new account. And I just want to say, like, I'm so grateful for how y'all just, no matter where I go, no matter how many accounts I have to make, whatever I do, y'all always find me. And I am so grateful for every single one of you. I was feeling extremely discouraged when my last account got banned because I was just like, this is the second account that I've had now that's gotten banned, and I really didn't know if I wanted to stay on TikTok or what I wanted to do. And I will say that I feel like I've shifted my content on TikTok a little bit, but it's like, whatever I do, like, y'all are rocking with me, and that makes me feel like, oh my god, like, y'all like me for real? Like, y'all like me? Like, what? Like, I'm just so grateful for all of you, and it's like, damn, like, y'all are really rocking with me, and I really appreciate that because I'm rocking with y'all, and I'm so grateful for all of your guys' support and everything, and how you guys just find me. Like, it's just crazy to me sometimes because I'm like, why? Like, why do they tune in? Why are they here? Why do they care? And I feel like sometimes, like, I feel like I have imposter syndrome, and it's like, why do they want to listen to what I have to say? Why do they care? But, like, I know deep down that I'm saying important stuff, and, like, I am funny, and I'm gorgeous and amazing and beautiful and all of that good stuff. But it's just, like, it's crazy to me that y'all keep finding me and, like, tune in and rock with me, and I don't know, like, I just never want to take that for granted, and I never will, and I'm just really, really grateful for all of you. And this has been the peak of my week, obviously. It's just like the fact that y'all always find me and y'all rock with me and you support me no matter what I do, because like I said, I have like changed my content a little bit, which stems from, you know, number one, just like the things that I talk about, like when I talk about like politics and race and stuff like that. TikTok obviously doesn't appreciate that, obviously doesn't want that on their app, and so I've kind of tried to shift that more to the podcast, and also like reposting some stuff on Instagram and also Threads, which has been really great too. I'm building a platform over there and you guys are finding me there too, which is great. And so my content on TikTok has changed a little bit because I've kind of dialed back with the political content on there because it's just, again, like, they just don't appreciate it. But also, I'm not gonna lie, like, in these past couple of weeks, like maybe a month or so now, I've kind of like, I don't want to say I've tuned out from like what's going on in the world, because I never will, but I've definitely, like, I felt like it was getting very heavy on me, and I was looking at everything that Trump was doing and all the things that he was saying, and, you know, the ICE raids and everything that's been going on. Like, I felt like it was mentally taxing for me, you know what I mean, just like seeing all of that. And so, you know, when they say ignorance is bliss, it's obviously very, very true. And I'm not saying that I'm ignorant to what's going on, because I'm definitely still keeping up, but I've definitely had to dial back a little bit because I was going crazy. Like, every morning I would wake up, the first thing I would do is like check the news, like, what's he up to, what's he doing, and it really was starting to affect me. So I definitely needed to take a step back and like not tune in as much. And then I also just really want to do more lifestyle content of, like, you know, my hair growth journey and, you know, what I do, just vlogging and different things like that. Like, I live in New York City, there's always something to do, and so I want to do more of that. And of course I want to take you guys along with me, and I'm just really grateful that you guys are, whatever I decide to do, like, you guys are tuning in, and I really, really appreciate that. And I just wanted to take a minute to say that I am so grateful for all of you who have been rocking with me for so long. I'm going on almost 3 years of doing content, and, you know, this is just something that I've really always wanted to do, and I love making my silly little videos, and I love talking about race and politics. And I feel like with content creation, I've seen this in some people that I've seen posts, is like they feel like they aren't able to talk about social issues because they want to be like marketable, you know what I mean? And I have kind of experienced that some too, with like, I've had talent agencies reach out to me and like, say that they want to work with me and sign me and get me brand deals and this, that, and third. And the first one always goes super well. Like, they seem great. They like my personality, da, 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 da. And then I think what sometimes happens is they kind of see the numbers and see my engagement, because not to toot my own horn, but the engagement is crazy. Like, you guys really engage, which I really appreciate too. And so they see that engagement and they're like, oh, let's reach out to this girl. And then after the first interview, they actually look at my content and see the things that I'm talking about, see the things that I'm doing. And so then I get like an email or a second interview where they kind of, in so many words, ask me to change up my content, like ask me to not be as vocal. Like, they don't outright say like, we want you to be less vocal, but they say it without saying it. Like, I can put two and two together. I have 2 working brain cells. I'm not J-Lo. And I will never be comfortable not talking about what's going on in the world. And if that makes me unmarketable, and that means that I lose brand deals or lose, being able to sign with a talent agency, then like, that's just what it means. Because I'm never gonna stop bringing attention to the things that are important. Like, yes, I really like making my lifestyle content. I like making my silly little videos. I like doing Get Ready With Me's. I like doing vlogs. And that's great. I love that content. But it's also extremely important to me that we continue to talk about and bring attention to social issues, because it is really important. And I think that, even though it hasn't worked out with like talent agencies and brands or whatever, I think that it's helped me to build a better connection with you all. And you guys, I don't hide anything. Like, you guys know exactly what I'm thinking in all of my videos. I'm very, very vocal about my politics and everything. And I think that should, I think more influencers and content creators should be transparent with that. Because it's not just like a difference in politics. Politics, I kind of miss when politics were boring. I kind of miss when it was just a difference in politics. But right now, it's a difference in morals. Like, if you support this current administration, if you're a Trump supporter, our morals don't align. And so I don't want you in my space, and I don't want to be in your space either. And so that's why I feel like being more transparent as a content creator or an influencer, like, I don't like calling myself an influencer, because am I a good influence? I think some people would say no. Because, if you go low, I'm going to hell every single time. And I think that there's, this misconception that, oh, if you have an online presence, you signed up for disrespect. Bitch, absolutely not. Because the way that I view it is, this is, my business. This is my job, right? Yes, it's online, but at the end of the day, I'm building a business. I'm building a job for myself, right? But it's not a physical building, right? Obviously, it's my page is my business. It's not a brick and mortar building, but that's where I go to work. You know what I mean? I would never allow someone to come into a physical building that was my business and disrespect me. And the same logic applies online. I'm not going to allow anybody to come to my page and be disrespectful to me when you could have just scrolled. You could have just minded your business. You could have left me alone. But since you didn't leave me alone, now I have mean things to say, and it's all your fault because you started this. So I'm going to finish it. And so whenever somebody goes low, I'm going to go to hell every single time. I don't care. But I think when you have this online presence, people that's frowned upon because it's oh, you decided to do this. You decided to open yourself up to that. Well, no, I decided to share my thoughts, my opinions, my life, sure, with the thought process that if that's not what you wanted to see, you would take one of your fingers, whichever one you like, it doesn't matter, put it at the bottom of the screen and swipe up. It takes so much less energy for you to just swipe away from my page than it does for you to leave a comment. Because mind you, most of the time, whenever I get a hate comment, it has nothing to do with the video. I'll be talking about race or pointing out, a problematic behavior, and someone would leave a comment about my hair or my skin or my nose or just something that shows, number one, that they're fucking stupid because why did you not address what I was saying in the video? And number two, you're just struggling with your own internalized racism because these are my natural features and why do you have a problem with that? So now I'm putting belt to your ass because you could have left me alone and you didn't. And that's how I always view it, is if you wouldn't go into someone's physical place of business and just start talking shit to them, you should have that same decorum and thought process and behavior online. Like, you shouldn't just go to somebody's page and just start talking shit unprovoked. You know what I mean? And obviously that's different if somebody is like saying something that's racist or homophobic or transphobic or misogynistic. Yeah, obviously I feel like those people should be called out, which, I mean, that's what I do online sometimes, right? But I think like if it's genuinely just a difference of opinion, like, just scroll. Like, I will never understand leaving a hate comment. Like, what does that do for you? At the end of the day, I feel like you're leaving a hate comment because you're miserable and you want everyone else to be miserable. Maybe go talk to that lady, because what you're doing is really, really weird. Crazy tangent. I don't know how I even got onto that, but what I was saying is I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for 100K plus on TikTok again. I really appreciate you guys rocking with me, and I'm just really, really grateful for all of you. So thank you all so much. I'm so, so grateful. And that has been the peak of my week, is just seeing all of you find me again. Like, it's great. And I love all of you guys. And thank you so much. As always, I want to hear the peak of your week, something that made you smile, kept you grounded, something that kept you sane in the chaos of the world. Speaking of not allowing disrespect and standing on business and calling out problematic behavior, I've been seeing this conversation surrounding Deante Kyle and him pandering to women. I say in quotes. So if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, there's this man, his name is Deante Kyle. He has a podcast called the Grits and Eggs podcast. And so he was recently on his podcast, or at least I think was recently, it's been going around TikTok recently, talking about how all men are accountable for the behaviors of men, because some men might be okay with handling rejection, but some also are not. And so all men are accountable for that behavior, because as women, we can't tell which men are going to be okay with rejection and which are not. Because there have been situations with men where, you know, they hit on women or approach women, whatever, and the woman rejects the man and he becomes defensive, you know, yelling at her, arguing with her, in some situations even killing her or, you know, becoming physically violent with her. And so Deante Kyle was saying, like, for women, we're not able to tell which man will be like, okay, cool, you don't want to talk to me, great, and which men will put our lives in danger because they can't handle rejection or being told no. And so now men are on TikTok saying that he's pandering to women and that he's only saying that because he's trying to get an up with women, or, you know, I've seen men say like, oh, you know, they're not going to let you hit because you say this, bro. Like, just saying, like, he's basically trying to get something out of saying these things and holding men accountable. And I think that this is an interesting conversation, because the reason that that is a response from some men is because they cannot fathom a man being nice to a woman or standing up for a woman or saying something in favor of a woman unless he wants something from her. Because 9 times out of 10, when a man does something nice for a woman, it's because he expects something in return. Most of the time, men are not being nice to you. And when I say you, I'm talking to women. Men are not being nice to women just for the sake of being nice. It's either because they want something, they want a conversation with you. You know, if you've ever been out and a man buys you a drink or takes you on a date or something, they're expecting something in return, most of the time something sexual. And I feel like that's why we're seeing this response, is because men cannot fathom just standing up for a woman just to do it. Like, they are always expecting something in return. The men who are responding this way of like, oh, he's pandering, he's, you know, doing this for something, whatever, they're telling on themselves. They're absolutely telling on themselves. Basically what they're saying is, I cannot see him doing this just because he's doing it, just because it's real, because I would never do something for a woman just for the sake of being nice to her. That's all I hear with every video that I've seen of a man being like, oh, he's pandering, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, he wants something in return. What they're saying is, I would never do something for a woman just to do it for a woman. You know what I mean? That's really all I hear. In my opinion, on what that stems from, is because we live in a patriarchy, and society is set up in a way that benefits men. Like, it's ingrained in our society for men to succeed simply because they're men, or for men to receive things just because they're men. And unless you really work to recognize that and work against that, you're always, as a man, going to expect something in return. So you can't fathom doing something just for the sake of doing it because you're so used to getting something in return. And I think that's part of the reason why, like, when women are like, hey, like, we'd like to be treated the same. Like, we want to make the same that men do, doing the same jobs. We like equal rights. Men's response to that is like, okay, so that means I get to hit you. And we're like, whoa, like, we just wanted to be treated the same and we want equal rights. They're like, well, equal rights, equal fights. Like, that means we can hit you. They can't fathom something being done that it doesn't benefit them. Like, they feel like women getting equal rights, they're like, okay, well, what's in it for me? Whole time, like, we're asking for the same thing that you already have. It's not like we're getting something more than you. We want the same thing as you. But they can't fathom, like, not benefiting from something in some way. So, like, when women are like, hey, we'd like to be treated the same, they're like, okay, so that means we get to hit you because that's a benefit for them because they want to fucking hit us because they hate us. Like, men are just so fucking weird. And it's the same thing for, like, racism and homophobia, too. It's like we have Black History Month and they're like, okay, well, when is White History Month? Or there's Pride Month and straight people are like, oh, well, when is Straight Month? And it's like, they can't fathom someone else getting something if it does not also benefit them. That's why I always say it's not enough to just say, oh, I'm not racist, or oh, I'm not misogynistic, or oh, I'm not homophobic. You have to be anti those things. You have to be actively working to reshape your mind and reshape your behaviors to be anti those things, or else you will be homophobic, racist, misogynistic, transphobic, whatever, sometimes without even realizing that that's what you're doing. It's really not enough to say that you're not a white supremacist or that you're not participating in bigotry. Like, you have to be anti those things, because if you're not anti those things, you're not actively working to be anti those things, then you will subconsciously or consciously be those things. And it's just because, like, that's how our society is. Our society, especially in America was built on things like racism and misogyny and homophobia. Like, those things are ingrained in our society and into every single piece of our society. And so if you're not actively working to fight against those things, you will fall down that rabbit hole or that black hole of participating in those things. And it's interesting because men, especially Black men, like, they can understand being cautious of white people, right? And I am, like, not knocking that. I can understand being cautious of white people because, again, we live in a society that was built on racism. And so same goes for white people, unless they're actively working against being racist. Like, it's not enough to say, oh, I'm not racist. You have to be anti-racist. Just looking at white people, because of the history and because of how white people have treated Black people and other minorities, both historically and currently, because I feel like people always want to be like, oh, that's in the past, like, slavery was in the past. Like, every time I bring up racism, they're like, oh, but slavery is in the past. Slavery, first of all, slavery is not in the past. Slavery still very much exists in America today. It's our fucking prison system. Like, the 13th Amendment, there is that loophole where you can't make someone work involuntarily unless for punishment of a crime. That was immediately exploited and is still exploited today. Like, slavery is still very much a thing. But even regardless of slavery, there are still so many racial tactics that are used in society still going on today. Like, and people, I don't, like, at this point, it's willful ignorance. Like, I was going to say, like, I don't know, but it's willful ignorance. Like, we carry computers in our pockets. You guys are constantly online doing all this other shit, but you're not educating yourself. So yeah, it's willful ignorance that you're like, oh, that's in the past. No, the fuck it's not. And it's like, Black men can understand the hesitancy of Black people and other minorities to white people. And that's a valid hesitation because, again, you don't know which white people are actively working to be anti-racist and which aren't. And that same logic applies to women. That same logic applies to, we don't know which men are actively fighting misogyny and which ones aren't. And because we don't know which are and which aren't, we have to be hesitant and skeptical of all of you. And it's like, we're not just doing that for our fucking health, but at the same time, like, yeah, we kind of are, because men are fucking scary, dude. Like, men can be violent, and women have lost their lives for rejecting men and for saying no to men. Like, y'all will be like, oh, just say no, just walk away, just do that. some women have said no and weren't able to just walk away because they were fucking killed for saying no. And the fact that the response to that is to be upset with the woman for wanting to protect herself and not the man for putting a woman in a position to feel like she has to protect herself is fucking crazy. Because again, you can understand it when it comes to white people and being hesitant of white people because of racism, because white people historically and currently have been a danger to black people and other minorities. But you can't understand it when it's women, when it's like the same thing, when it's like men have been a danger historically and currently to women. Like, I fear this is not fucking rocket science. Like, if you can understand one, you should be able to understand the other. But the reason I feel like some men struggle to understand the other is because it's like they're unable to separate themselves and realize like, oh, it's not me personally that women are afraid of, but it's like the system. It's like they internalize it. And this also happens with white people when it comes to, you know, black people and other minorities being cautious and hesitant of them. They internalize it and it's like, oh, I'm taking this personal, rather than saying like, let me look at the historical and current things that are going on that might make this person feel this way. Do you know what I mean? It's like they have such a hard time separating themselves from the group. And instead of being able to separate themselves, they take it personal. And it's like, it's not personal, but like at the end of the day, it's my safety. It's what I have to do to survive in this world, because historically and currently, that has been something that has been used to put my life in danger. Like, and that's not a dramatization. That is facts. Like, people's lives are being put in danger because of things like racism and misogyny and homophobia and transphobia. And because we can't tell just from looking at someone that you are anti those things, like, unfortunately, it has to kind of be one band, one sound. You have to be put into that group. Like, that's just how it is. And that's like how it is for me too. Like, I unfortunately am strictly dickly. I don't know what I did in my past life to bear this fucking torture, but I am strictly dickly, and I benefit from that. If I ever want to get married, I don't have to worry about, oh, like, will it be legal? Will someone turn me away and not want to make like my wedding cake, or not want to provide service to me because I'm gay or whatever? Like, I will never have to worry about that. And that's a privilege that I have because I am a heterosexual person. And if a gay person wants to be like, you know, I'm cautious of you, like, are you homophobic? Are you this or are you that? I'm not going to take that personally, because at the end of the day, unless I am very outwardly spoken, which I am, about, you know, caring about their rights and wanting them to have the same rights that I do, because all they want to do is like show their love to their partners. Why would I not want that? You know what I mean? But unless you are open and obvious about that, like, they don't know. And it's not their fault to be cautious about that because of the way the world is set up. And so, like, for me, I'm never going to take that personally if somebody in the LGBTQIA plus community side-eyes me, because they don't know. And at the end of the day, all they want to do is live and survive and be themselves. And it sucks that our world is set up in a way where we have to question each other. But at the end of the day, like, if it's for your safety and for your life and for your protection, question me. I'm all for that, because at the end of the day, I know that I'm not someone that you have to worry about, and I don't mind having to prove that to you. And the fact that there are people who like get offended and like, why do I have to prove this to you? Look at the fucking history. Look at the current administration. Look at what is going on in our world. Of course you're going to have to prove that. That's just how it is. And it sucks. I'm not going to say that, like, I wish that we could all just coexist and, like, everyone would leave each other the fuck alone. But unfortunately, that's not how this country is built. That's not how the world is. Why are we taking this personally? I don't get it. Like, it's weird to me that people would take that personally, because when you look at the world, like, it makes sense. It checks out why someone who is a part of a minority group would be cautious of someone who is not in that minority group. It makes total fucking sense. But I feel like people are so self-centered, especially more now than ever. I feel like people are so self-centered and they're only thinking about themselves and how something hurts their feelings. But it's like, my life and making sure that I'm safe, that matters more to me than whether or not your feelings are hurt. Period. The end. Like, I don't give a fuck if I'm hurting your feelings, if what I'm doing is to make sure that I can literally wake up the next fucking morning. At the end of the day, like that, like me being able to fucking live matters more to me than if your fucking feelings are hurt. Like, can we be for real? I think if we were able to all remove our personal feelings from the situation and really understand what it is that people are being cautious or hesitant about, then we would be able to understand each other better. Like, when I'm outside and I'm hyper vigilant and I'm looking around and I'm worried about my safety, I'm not necessarily worried about the man that is walking down the street coming towards me. I'm more so worried about whether or not that man is doing the work to unlearn the misogyny that has been ingrained in him since literal birth. Like, and again, that is not an exaggeration. Like, misogyny and racism and homophobia and everything is so incredibly ingrained in our society that unless you are actively working to unlearn that shit, you will consciously or subconsciously be doing things that uphold those systems. With some of the unconscious actions being offended that you're also being held accountable, and accusing Deante Kyle of pandering because he is holding men accountable. Like, you're actively proving why we have to hold all men accountable, because if it didn't apply to you, and if you're able to handle rejection and you would never put a woman's life in danger, then why are you upset that men who do those things are being called out? It's giving hit dogs hollering. Because personally, I've never looked at someone who is homosexual saying that they hate straight people and been like, damn, what did I do? Like, I get it. It's not, you're not saying that to me specifically. You're saying that more so to the system and to the things that have been set up to make your life harder just because of who you love. It's the same way with women, and it's the same way with Black people and other minorities when it comes to misogyny or racism. Like, I just don't understand the personalization of it. If you know that you're not the problem, then what's the issue with wanting to hold men accountable who are the problem? And what's the issue with being like, we can't tell who is the problem and who isn't, so for our safety, we're going to hold all of you to the same standard until you prove to us, right, that you're not a part of the problem. It's giving you're a part of the problem. Like, I'm sorry. It's giving you're a part of the problem. And again, this goes for white people. This goes for men. This goes for straight people. This goes for anyone who is a part of some sort of group that benefits from the oppression of other people. Like, we have to hold ourselves and the people in our groups accountable, because it's not the job of the people who are in the oppressed group, or it shouldn't be the job of the people who are in the oppressed group to figure it out, right? Like, we should be using the privilege that we have, whatever that privilege is, to hold each other accountable. It has to start within the group, because society has not done enough work as a whole to unlearn or to dismantle the systems of oppression. And if you can understand that for one oppressed group, you should be able to understand that for all of them. Because at the end of the day, none of us are benefiting from oppression. Sure, there might be some benefits, but overall, society is fucked. Like, men want to talk about this male loneliness epidemic. Personally, how do we make the men lonelier? Because if they were lonelier, then maybe they would stop having so much fucking audacity. But the male loneliness epidemic is a byproduct of these misogynistic systems, because women don't know who's a safe space and who's not. And so we're just avoiding all of you. And then you guys want to cry, oh, we're so lonely. Like, again, it's for our safety. We don't know who's going to put our lives in danger and who isn't. But if y'all would hold each other accountable, because again, there's not been enough work in society to dismantle the misogyny. So if y'all came together and held each other accountable, maybe y'all wouldn't be so lonely. Like, the main contributors to the male loneliness epidemic is men. Because instead of holding each other accountable and trying to understand why women might have a hesitancy towards you, you're like, my feelings are hurt and I'm going to blame women, and any man who sides with women, he must be pandering to her. And then you wonder why women don't trust you and don't want to be around you. You're literally making excuses for men being violent towards women. So of course we're going to now be even more skeptical of you, even if we weren't skeptical of you personally in the beginning. Now we're definitely going to be more skeptical of you personally, because you're making excuses for men and you're actively aiding in upholding these systems which put our lives in danger. Like, it's not rocket science. Please, as we wrap up today's episode, I'm begging y'all, remove your feelings from this conversation and try to understand it from a different perspective. Because if you're able to understand why Black people and other minorities would have a hesitancy towards white people, then you should also be able to understand why women would have a hesitancy towards men. Because it's the same thing. It's the historic and current way that the system is set up to put our lives in danger. And also ask yourself why you're internalizing that, or why you would think that a man who wants to hold other men accountable must be pandering to women or must be doing it for his own benefit. Because I promise you, you're saying so much more about yourself than you think you're saying. Hope this helps. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope everyone has a good week except for that orange drink lady. And I will talk to you in the next episode. Peace and love. Talk to you later. The Napkin in Between, hosted by Deante Jones, produced by Deante Jones, post-production by Deante Jones, music by Sam Champagne, and graphics by Isma Vidal. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next episode.